Honorable Gajendra Kumar Ponnambalam, you have 14 minutes.
I thank you, Honourable Presiding Member. Madam, our party at the very outset, in fact, signed this no confidence motion against the Honourable Minister of Health. Once again, our position was that it is not against him personally, but certainly it is a situation that, as far as we are concerned in the Northeast, the health sector is seriously wanting. We have been repeatedly, since we got elected for the last 2.5 years, bringing up numerous issues at various times, and unfortunately none have been attended to, except for just one matter, which is the CT scans were not serviced because there was some disagreement with regards to the amount of money that was being charged by the servicing company. Except for that matter, everything else has still not been addressed. A letter has been written by Dr. T. Satyamurthy, who is the Provincial Director for Health Services in the Northern Province, written to the Honourable Minister, copied to the Chief Secretary Northern Province, Additional Secretary Development, Ministry of Health, Colombo, and Secretary Ministry of Health in August this year. And that letter, Honourable Presiding Member, gives a list of immediate things that need to be adhered to. Primary healthcare system strengthening project is being implemented from 2019 onwards. However, 30 hospitals without a single cadre for nursing officers. Madam, like that, with regards to there is an urgent need for approval of cadre for the hospitals under the DRIVE project, which is funded by the Netherlands. With the current staff members, the health director has made it very clear that it is very difficult to make those units functional. In the Northern Province, there is 1,906 vacancies existing from 30th April to 2023. That situation has not improved. With regards to the human resources development, on the matters for consultants, there are 89 vacancies out of a cadre of 161. Like that, ma'am, appointment of intern medical officers, appointment of nursing officers, appointment of PSM category staff, all of these shortcomings have been listed and written in detail to the Honourable Minister. Dispensers issues, appointment of public health staff, PHI, appointment of public health staff, PHM, transfer of Tamil-speaking midwives from the Central Province to the Northern Province. It's been 5 years since they have been appointed to the Central Province. They have been asking for transfers back to the Northern Province, and yet they have not been implemented. Appointment on minor staff, like that, detailed matters have been raised, and so far, I checked even today, there has been absolutely no progress in this regard. These are not new issues. These are matters that have been raised constantly for the past several months, if not years, and they still remain unanswered. And it is for these reasons, Honourable Presiding Member, our party has decided that we will vote in favour of the no confidence motion. Our view is that as far as the Northeast is concerned, it is an area that is affected by war. Already the health sector was lagging, and the Honourable Minister knows the needs in the Northeast, especially because of war victims. The situation is quite grave. It's only not in the Northern Province, even adjoining provinces outside the Northeast also have patients that come to the north.
ගරුක හෙලිආරා මුක්වැල්ලම්.
Sorry, I appreciate your concerns. Only thing we are short of, as of now, we need to take the 2017 CARD provisions, because every 3 years you are supposed to do a review, but we have only done up to 2017. We are short of 13,800, almost 14,000 human resource members, right? So what we have done is we have made a request to the management services and to the president, and soon after the budget, he said he'll at least approve 50% of it, which will be manageable at that point. So as of now, I will not be able to give you any. I've been trying, but fact is that we are unable to take it because there's a blanket cover.
Thank
So
you,
we didn't
Honourable
take
Minister.
any.
Thank you.
I hope you do that, Honourable Minister, because I can remember about 6 months ago, I again gave you a written document which had been matters that had been written to you as soon as you were appointed Minister of Health, and you gave me the same assurance, but it hasn't been done. But please, please look into it, because already the sector has been very badly affected. Now, Honourable Presiding Member, next on the next sessions of Parliament on the third week, there will be a adjournment debate on the Easter Sunday bombings. Unfortunately, I and my colleague, Honourable Mr. Gajendran, will not be able to take part in it. I wish to state a few, raise a few matters and put on record with regards to those events, particularly with regards to the exposures that came out of the Channel 4 documentary. Now, Honourable Presiding Member, the matters raised in that documentary are some things that, as far as the people of the Northeast, particularly the Tamil people, are concerned, are quite familiar with. I mean, we have been raising issues with regards to how the counterinsurgency measures that the government has been putting in operation right through the war. I remember when I was a Member of Parliament from 2001 till 2010, we constantly raised these issues at that time when the war was taking place, in the way in which the military establishment and the state was acting in the Northeast. However, the polarized situation was such that nobody was willing to listen to what we were saying. And you, Honourable Presiding Member, as someone who is an academic who will hope can take a rather dispassionate consideration of these matters, will know that when it comes to counterinsurgency, and particularly when it comes to war, the truth is the first casualty. And hardly anything that is told in public is in fact true. So it is under those circumstances that these Channel 4 exposure with regards to the Easter bombings, Easter Sunday bombings, have actually have to be seen in context. Now, out of that exposure, one of two things can be concluded. The worst case scenario is that the government itself was directly involved in the planning of those bombings in order for whatever beneficial consequences that they could arise electorally or otherwise. The best case scenario for the then government is that they knew that these bombings were going to take place. They knew full well that there was already a process by certain extremist elements to carry out certain things. And what they did is that through their contacts within the military intelligence apparatus, they in some way managed to influence them at best with regards to how they should act. And when they could have prevented it, when they could have taken steps to prevent it, they chose not to. They fully well knowing that there will be severe casualties, decided not to prevent it, and also going further, they actually manipulated the situation so that it happens in a particular way. That is the best case possible explanation that can be given, and the worst is that they were directly behind the bombings themselves. Now, Honourable Presiding Member, this is not the first time. This is not the first time that evidence of this sort of behavior by the defence establishment has been exposed. There is a WikiLeaks dispatch by the Charge d'Affaires of the US Embassy, Mr. James Moore, to the Secretary of State of the United States, dated on the 5th of May 2009, where he says that the president at that time was President Mahinda Rajapaksa, then claimed, I'm quoting, the president then claimed that government forces would not shell civilian areas, confiding that the army has deep penetration units, Tamil-speaking agents operating in LTT-controlled areas within the safe zone who are attempting to organize people to breach the LTT earth bunds and allow civilians to escape. Now, what I'm saying here, Honorable Presiding Member, is that such was the way in which the military was able to infiltrate, such was the way in which they operated at the time, that they were part and parcel of identifying themselves and mingling with the LTTE. That is what they have admitted to the United States Embassy. Then President Ranil Wickremesinghe on the 6th of October 2020, when he gave evidence before the Presidential Commission on the Easter bombings, and it was reported in the papers on the 7th of October 2020, he has admitted that the intelligence wing of the military intelligence has always wanted to divide the Tamil-speaking people into Tamils and Muslims, and for the Muslims to claim a separate identity, and for that purpose, they worked extremely hard to create rifts between the Tamils and the Muslims by doing various activities that ultimately led to people like the former Honorable Minister Ashraf, who was a strong advocate of the Tamil-speaking people's identity and was a member of the ITAK, the Federal Party, to eventually choose to espouse a separate identity completely. So what this shows, Honorable Presiding Member,
Honorable Member,
that,
you have 2 more minutes.
Yes. What this shows, Honorable Presiding Member, is that the nature of the war, the nature in which the military operates is so secretive and so very subversive that the truth is almost impossible to obtain from within. From within. Now, in the case of the Easter bombings, Honorable Presiding Member, it is a particular party that is being accused. But when it is an ethnic conflict, when it is an ethnic conflict that polarizes, and when the ethnic dimensions of this country are such that it will always be the Sinhalese majority that governs, then the whole state apparatus will be ethnically biased. And for the truth to come out, you need an international investigation. If for the Easter bombings, I'm asking members, if they have a conscience, if you want to know the truth, if you want to know why the Tamil feels so victimized and are so polarized, then ask yourselves, if you don't arrive at the truth, can you convince the Tamils that there is a future for them as well? And the only way you can do that is through an international investigation. I can't understand, Honorable Presiding Member, why you should run away from it. The Honorable Sarath Fonseca, yesterday I'm told through the papers, had in fact said that he wants an international investigation. He wants an international investigation for the Easter bombings. That I welcome. But that same international investigation must happen with regards to the war. Our party members opposite and members on this side, they accuse our party of being pro-LTT. The LTT is accused of crimes. If we are pro-LTT and if we are saying have an international investigation, we are not running away from LTT being investigated. If we are not frightened, why are you? Why are you? Unless you have all of this to hide.
Please wind up.
Unless you have all of this to hide. And I appeal to you, this country has hit rock bottom. At least start afresh. Start afresh so that the truth comes out so that everybody knows what happened and that we make sure that we don't repeat that for the future. That's the only way, Honorable Presiding Member, that we can find genuine, lasting solutions for the problems this country faces. Thank you.
Thank you very much.